What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today, back with hot takes number 12. Now, last week I want to address something because this was weird. For some reason, uh, the comments in StreamYard was not appearing. So there was some people, as some people may not know, I just do this for fun. I do want to get some views and talk with people and have a chat going, but I know that's not always possible. And I'm still working on actually how to market this and get people engaged. Um, it is what it is. I mean, you're starting out and you'll learn. So um, I'm just going to do this for myself right now. And the whole point of the show, because I did see some comments. Why is it called hot takes? Well, it's because it's called hot takes because even though yes, I may have a opinion on that is very similar to the general consensus on a certain topic, I still have little nitpicks and little things that I may have issue with that people may not agree, right? We're not always going to agree on the same topic. And that's why I call it hot takes because sometimes I have strong opinions, as some people may know, or I just have weird uh ideas or thoughts that people may disagree with. And I kind of just want to talk about it, right? So this is where um I can either talk with people or I could just talk with myself. I also think it's a way where I can document some of my thoughts on things that I actually like and going back and looking at it. So there's various different ideas that I have um, with this. I want to call it a podcast, even though I do it live, right? So today I want to keep it relatively short, just because I have other things to do, and I think sometimes I go a little bit excessive. Like 1 hour and 30 minutes is maybe too much, but we'll see with this episode, and I'll try to get better and flesh it out and make it a little bit more professional. Like one of the things I want is a um, an intro, so I'm going to design that. But yeah, if there's anybody in the chat for whatever reason, I can't see it. So, yeah, we're just going to talk about my thoughts on today's topic, which is Super Mario. Let's pull up the banner here. If I can get the banner. Jesus. Where is the banner? Okay, here is the banner. Found it. So, today, this episode, we're going to be talking about the Super Mario Brothers series, which is probably the most recognizable video game out there. Everybody knows Mario. Everybody associates Mario with a video game, which I think is pretty interesting. And there are some aspects that I do want to talk about, especially after watching the latest movie, right? But just to get my thoughts out of the way, um, or what we're going to be talking about this episode is I'm going to be talking about just the series as a whole, my thoughts on it, talking about some of the games. I do have a tier list with a lot of games and going through them all, and I don't want to take too much time. Um, but I do want to talk about the games that I have beaten and some of the games that I haven't beaten, but I have thoughts on. And also, I'm going to be talking about some of the problems that I had with the newest Mario movie, which I know it's a kids movie, but I still have issue with it as a fan. And going into that, I do want to talk about, is Mario for kids? This is the one thing um, that I think is an interesting discussion because I think it's easy to say that Mario is for kids. I mean, you look at it; it's very colorful, it's very silly, it's doesn't take itself too serious. But Shigeru Miyamoto, the curator of Mario, has said it repeatedly that Mario is not for kids; it's for everyone. Which, looking back on it, playing the games, I do get that impression that it's kind of a mix, right? Sometimes some Mario games are relatively easy, and other ones are kind of frustratingly hard, which is weird, right? Like, and we'll get into that, but I think overall, even though Shigeru Miyamoto likes to say Mario is not for kids, and they always like to put in a challenge because most of the time these kids are not going to be performing some of these crazy jumps or collecting everything, right? And recently I was just playing Mario Sunshine, probably like 3 months now. But as you can see in the background, this is one of the first stages in Mario Sunshine. But that game is relatively hard. Now, many people could argue it's because the game is goddamn broken. I have no clue if it really is. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Like the camera is definitely broken. But who really knows why it's so janky and weird? I know there was rumors that it was rushed out and all these different things, but that's beside the point. The point is that some Mario games, like Mario Sunshine, are just really frustrating. Where you're like, could a kid really get into this? And then there are other series or other entries where I feel they're too easy. Um, for instance, even though this game does get a lot of praise and people say it's one of the best games ever made, but Mario Galaxy is a game that, again, I recently played and beat. And I felt that it was way too easy, even on the time trials and the little challenges that you have on each world or level. It just seemed really too easy where I'm like, okay, definitely this seems more geared toward kids. But then you have something like Mario Odyssey, which is like a mix. It's more of a balance. So if I had to really give my final opinion on whether Mario is not it's for everyone, like Shigeru Miyamoto says, I think for the game, yes. The brand, no. So yeah, I guess that means I'm a man child for playing this because I have no intention of stopping playing Mario because I love Mario. Um, so yeah, it is what it is. Now, I guess as the series, because there's so many spin-offs, there's sports games, there's Mario Party, there's Mario Kart, uh, there's Paper Mario, there's so many different games. I mean, I'm looking at the list here. It's dozens of games over decades. Um, and it's a series that is definitely not going to die by any means. And it's kind of crazy that it's a critically acclaimed series, right? Like every time a Mario game comes out, like a mainline 3D Mario, there's usually some hype around it, which is very interesting, right? Because, like I said, some of these games sometimes are either too easy or they're too hard. So, why is there critically acclaimed, right? And my thoughts are Mario, I think it just does the platforming genre very well. Very simple, but also it's designed in a way where you can go the extra mile, right? Like Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey is probably one of my favorite games after replaying it. I used to hate on this game. I used to say, you know what, it's too similar to Mario 64 and its premise and its ideas of collecting moons and going to different worlds, so to speak. Um, which all Mario games are the same, right? In some capacity. But when you look at Mario Sunshine and then you look at Mario Galaxy, you could clearly tell that there are a lot of differences, even though it's in the same genre. And so, what I like about the Mario series, as someone who is a lot older and it doesn't necessarily fit into my demographic, is that there is some effort to basically push yourself. Can you collect all these moons? All the stars? Can you make these certain jumps to do some crazy things, right? Um, and that's what I really love about Mario Odyssey. It feels like the ultimate Mario game where you can maneuver and pull off some of these jumps, these chain jumps, which it's seems very simple, and then you start to learn the mechanics. And I always like games where it is simple on the surface level. You can, you know, at the end of the day, Mario is just about jumping, but then you can start to go a little bit more in depth where you can start to learn about, okay, how do I chain jumps, right? So what's up, Vortex? Um, Thanks for stopping by. Mario Odyssey is too short. I can agree with that. It is only 15 hours long. So, and I think, speaking of that, because I did say that I didn't like Mario Odyssey at first, which was probably because the game to me was just so similar to Mario 64. And I love Mario 64. So when I was playing it, I was expecting a little bit more innovation, right? Yes, it has like these open worlds and different you know, different how do I say it? There's little stars that you can or moons you can collect in Mario Odyssey, right? What's up, Georgia? Thanks for stopping by. Cool that you're playing The Last of Us and listening. So hopefully I'm entertaining. I know The Last of Us is story driven, so sometimes for me, I wouldn't listen to a podcast, but I appreciate it, George. Um, but as for as I was saying, Mario Odyssey, it just seems more like a fleshed out version of Mario 64, right? Mario 64, you go in, you collect a star, and then you're immediately boot out of the level, right? Well, Mario Odyssey, you can pretty much collect moons at your leisure and never get boot out of the world, right? So it's not really a chore like it was in Mario 64. So that's what I mean, where it's like very specific, little minor tweaks to Mario Odyssey, where it's like basically an HD version of Mario 64. Um, but as I played it again, I went back in December and played that game for a whole month. And it took me, I basically have like 60 hours in the game. Okay. That's how crazy I was with looking and trying to collect some of these moons in the game. And that's when I start to learn. I'm like, oh, some of these moons are pretty hard. Like the one where you got to race the damn I'm totally blanking on the name. The turtles, the damn turtles, the Koopas. They call Koopas. Uh, now I have to Google it because I'm so bad at this. The Koopas, the little turtle guys that you gotta. The turtle guys, they're in Mario 64. They're in obviously the original Mario. So in Mario Odyssey, there's missions where you have to race them and get to a certain you got to cross the finish line. And these ones are insanely hard. Okay. Like once you get to master mode, you have to actually pull off certain jumps to get through a shortcut, right? And there's one jump where you got to do a long jump to get to this platform. And it's an insane jump, right? You basically have to do a long jump and then you have to do a cappy jump. And it's insane. It is I'm telling you, some of the jumps that you have to pull off in Mario Odyssey to get some of these moons, they are ridiculous. Another one that I always remember because um, I did cheat on this one is the jump rope challenge because that one was a bitch. Okay, just trying to jump um, and just time it and just go in the rhythm. Like I could get up to maybe 50. But once you start trying to get up to like 100, it was difficult, right? I would slip up, it was too fast, my timing was off. So there's so like I said, in Mario Odyssey, it's very much about timing jumps, learning how to chain a jump and go a distance, right? And most of the game of why I racked up that amount of hours was just trying to perfect a long jump cappy throw, which is again you do a long jump, right, where you kind of run and then he jumps quite a bit of a distance, and then you have to do throw cappy and then jump on cappy so you can get some height. And there's a lot of videos. I didn't have a playlist this time for the stream, so I can't really show you, and I don't really want to Google it. I could. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Let's do a Mario Odyssey cappy jump. Cappy jump. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, I found the one. I found it. Very, very easy. So I'm going to share screen here. I'm going to do Cappy. Here we are. So as you can see, this is Mario Odyssey. Let's see if he. So this jump, the Cappy jump. I'm trying to think if this is the right one, where you got to do this insane jump right here, where you got to basically jump, get some leverage, and then there's another one where you can actually throw again and do a dive. This is actually Nintendo Life may have some of the crazy technical jumps that you can make in this game, right? Like that. Things like that are pretty difficult in the game. They look easy, right? This game, like I said, is about jumping. But learning to chain jumps and get a higher distance. I'm trying to just scroll through here because again, I did not pre-plan this. Just just decided I was busy. I was gonna say I just decided to be lazy, but no, I was busy. Uh, so yeah, some of the jumps here, they are insane. They are insane. But yeah, let's get to Vortex comments here. He says Super Mario 3D Land was super fun. I agree. I like this game. This is on the 3DS. We'll talk about that. I did another game that I had issues when it first came out. I had Mario 3D World, which is on the Wii U. One of the rare people, one of the 13 million people who bought a Wii U. Okay, and I bought that game, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be, a step to or a step up from Mario Galaxy. It was not. It was not. We'll get to the tier list. We'll get to the tier list. In fact, since I talk so much about this, also the reason why I love Mario 64 is because of Mario DS. Okay. No hates. I'm not going to hate on that game because that was the original version before, you know, I don't want to admit it here because technically it is a crime, not maybe not technically, but I do emulate games, right? Especially older games that I never got to play because I am a youngling. I'm only 22 as of right now. Yes, this is you. We'll see. We're gonna get to the tier list because you're asking, and I got some four people here, which I am shocked, as you know. So let's change this. You heard my thoughts, why I love it, the challenge, learning the jumps, even in Mario Sunshine, which I'm going to show you some painful jumps that you have to make in Mario Sunshine. So let's get to the ranked, okay? Because we got a lot here, and I'm going to organize some of these games immediately, quickly. So let's get into the tier list. This is it. This is the tier list. This is insane. Obviously, I have not played all of these games. Okay. Some of these games, I don't even know if I can emulate them. And some of these games, I wouldn't really care to get. So let's how am I going to start by doing this? Okay, I'm gonna probably I'm guessing this is the arcade, the second version of the arcade Mario Kart. I'm gonna put it here. I didn't play it. Some of these ones did not play. I'm not even gonna address them. Okay, there's so many games on this list. This is the list that was like the definitive list, and I'm gonna have to bounce back here to see some of the comments. Yeah, 69. I know 69, man. That's crazy. Uh, but yet I sound so young. Weird. Anyway, let's get into this. Moving here, some of these I know this is the like the remake of all the classic from Mario One to the arcade and Mario Bros and Super Mario. Oh, actually, is it just Super Mario Bros. 2? I thought it had the original, but I did not play that. But I did. How I got into Mario Super Mario World was actually on the Game Boy. I had a friend, a bit of an asshole. I did not like this guy, but he was still my friend for whatever reason, and he had Mario World on his Game Boy Advance, and I used to play it a lot. And this was one of my kind of first exposures to Mario because as a kid, I did not have a lot of Nintendo consoles. What's up, Tony? And what's up, Finbar? What do we have here? Mario Kart 7 was too expensive, so I never played it. When I got my first 3DS, this was one of the games I got. Same thing with 3D Land. And the first game I really technically beat as a kid, right? Because when I was like a kid, I want to say from ages like 6 to like 10, I didn't really beat games. I would just play the game and I got my fun out of it, and that was it, right? But it was after I beat Ocarina of Time, right? And this is why I keep saying Zelda is one of my favorite series, because this was the first game I actually beat. Yes, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. It was the first game I ever beat. And it actually made me appreciate games more where I'm like, oh, I want to beat them as a kid. So I started beating more games as a kid, even though it was kind of hard, right? It was still hard for me to beat kids from like ages, what, I want to say 11 to eventually, I want to say 13, right? After that, I started getting into more like mature games and I got my PlayStation, and I always had a PlayStation. That was my first console, was the original PlayStation from my uncle. And my uncle was the one who actually got me into gaming. And sadly he passed away 3 years ago, but he was the one. He always had an Xbox console, and that's how I got into gaming as a kid. Because for whatever reason, my mom did not allow me to get a console. So I had to find another way to play games. So moving on, because we're gonna go back to this tier list because it's so deep. It's so deep. So this is really, I'm gonna put this as an A because I recently came back and played this game. It's a good game by all means, right? The secrets and everything, the levels, Yoshi as a mechanic, and learning how to fucking kill Yoshi to get on some of these jumps. So I'm gonna have to look. I can't believe there's so many games on this list. You're gonna be like, God damn, you barely played the fucking Mario series. Well, yeah. I did not play Super Mario Maker on the 3DS. I assume it's like the Wii U one, and I also didn't play the Wii U version. But I did play the sequel. I did play the sequel. Yes, rip indeed. Rip indeed. Lots of rips. Um, Same thing with the we're gonna have to go down some of the list here, but I did not play. the Superstar Saga remake, and I haven't even played the original on the Game Boy Advance. The only one of the Mario and Luigi series that I played was this game, and even though it was fun, to me, I did not like it. Okay, it definitely reminded me of Paper Mario when I played the original. I didn't play the original Paper Mario. I played the one on the GameCube, which I think is 1,000 Year Door. I played that game. It definitely reminded me of that, but always preferred Paper Mario. Something about Paper Mario was more appealing to me than Mario and Luigi. Even though the premise of Mario and Luigi, like inside Bowser's story, um, and I think there's another one on the 3DS. They were pretty cool premise wise, but I just never played it. So again, never played this game. I think this was Dance Dance Revolution. So I don't know what console that came out for. GameCube. We maybe I'm gonna lean in more GameCube. The original Donkey Kong, I played it. Of course, I had to have played it. Um, it's okay game. Some of these older games I had played and beat. There are so many Mario games. I'm telling you, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I have played the original Donkey Kong. It's fun. It's definitely more of an arcade game. It doesn't to me. Um, Even though again the levels and making your way up to the top and avoiding the obstacles, it's very simplistic. And to me, it's really not representative of Mario. And we had the one on the Game Boy. Never played the one on the Game Boy. I'm gonna have to find which arcade version of Mario Kart I played because I did play it. And it was more like the one I want to say. I'm a huge fan, but I didn't play most of the games. God damn. Well, this is the thing, right? Like I am a huge Mario fan of the mainline series. But yeah, some of these games, they're just fucking there's fucking way too many of them. Like I opened up this list and I was like, good fucking lord, half of them are gonna be like, I didn't play some of these ones. So I'm gonna have to like rush through this because I want to actually talk about the ones that I have played and why I like them or dislike them. But yeah, I did not play this version of the arcade. Mario's Dr. Mario. It's okay game. I have played these ones. I have played the 64 and I played the original. It's okay. You know what I mean? They're not it's like Tetris. I don't have much to say. You know what I mean? It's just kind of generic. I never really cared for the series. But yeah, doing a tier list supermodels I've slept with. Oh man. Oh man. Could you imagine if that was a tier list out somewhere? We would have to do that. Make up all these crazy lies. What is my favorite Mario game? I did talk about this. I did say um my originally my favorite Mario game was Mario 64, right? That even though I have played now all of the 2D Mario games and I beat them, last year I ran through them all and beat them all. Um except for the crazy, insane original Mario 2, which I absolutely fucking hate with an absolute passion because I did try to play that game and I just had to just put it down because it was so fucking frustrating. I got to a couple levels and I'm like, I understand why now people say this game is incredibly cheap. But my favorite Mario game, it's probably I would say Mario 64. And it's really not because of gameplay, it's more so because of nostalgia. A lot of every time I hear a melody from that song or from that game, I should say, Jesus, it just feels very nostalgic. Um, yeah, Grace Randolph. Uh, you know, Tony's comment, he said I didn't yeah, I haven't played a lot of the Mario games. It's making me look like Grace Randolph. That's how bad it is, man. We got to do a Grace Randolph tier list of how bad. How bad. But let's keep going. The DS where I vaguely remember it, didn't play it. I think this is this the one on the Wii U? I think there was one on the Wii U. I don't know if it was the NES remix. I'm remembering, or if this is an arcade game. Uh, Whatever. Regardless, didn't play it. This is the online WiiWare game. This is the mobile app which closed recently. I never even tried that out. I didn't, like I said, don't really care about the Dr. Mario franchise. Just not my thing. We're gonna have to get through some of these games. Just I didn't play them. I didn't play them. Huge fan, but I didn't play these games. Uh, This is the arcade. I think this came around during the GameCube. Didn't play that one. Now we can get to a game that I played, beat, did everything in, wiped it clean. Super Mario 3D World. I'm gonna have to scroll up here, but I'm gonna put this at the S tier. This one is one of my favorite games because it is more of a classic. Uh, this the way it was described. I forget the director's name, but he described the 3D Land and World Series as basically 2D Mario in 3D. And as a kid, to me, I always liked 3D Mario. So when they were like, "Oh, we're gonna make a 2D 3D Mario," I was kind of miffed. I was kind of pissed. Okay, like why would you do that? Right? The setting's not interesting. Like it's just kind of generic Mario, and a lot of the levels are generic. But at the same time, I think it's the challenge now going back and beating that game, along with Bowser's Fury. Which, if you haven't played this version of the game, I would say it's better than the Wii U version because it is faster paced, which is weird for a port. It plays much faster than the original. So yeah, very odd. So this game in particular, oh, I'm like this game right here. I have to put it at S tier. It is close to being one of my favorite Mario games just because like I said, this is the few Mario games where I feel like there is a balance to it. And even though, like I said, I have issues with the stages and just the whole setting overall seems a little bit generic, but I do like the cat suit mechanic. Really fun to just like run up walls and stuff like that. Very convenient also because you could do this dive jump. Um, so I'm gonna put that there. As for Bowser's Fury, I feel like I would rank it higher than 3D World because if you haven't played that game, this to me is probably what the next Mario game will be. Right? It's like this open world. It's almost like Mario Odyssey and Mario 64, but you don't really have to travel anywhere. There's no loading screen. There's no picture you have to jump into. It's just little islands that you kind of swim toward, right? And so I always thought that was interesting. What's my thoughts on colors? What do you mean here? Colors? I'm blanking. Sonic colors? I have no clue. You're gonna have to elaborate, Arkham. So yeah, yeah. Moving on. Fan, but not really a fan, as Tony said it. The Sonic. Okay, this is a franchise I will talk about in general because I have played some of these games, but I really don't want to rank them. If I had to rank them, I'd probably put them on F, right? Because these they're like mini sports games that you play, and it's obviously with the Sonic and Mario characters. And I always thought the idea was really cool, like these two characters that were obviously from rival companies going up against each other. And when I got it as a kid, I was expecting the original, which I think was in 2008. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was the 2008 Olympics was when they started doing Mario and Sonic. And it was like these mini games, these sports mini games, and it was very much in line with the sports Mario series. But to me, it was very simple and not really as creative as, say, Mario Strikers or, well, yeah, mostly Mario Strikers, right? Or Mario Golf. So it's just like, never really cared for the series. And every game I feel like just got progressively worse. So I'm gonna just put every single one in F because I just could not stand them. Could not stand them. I'm trying to see if there's any more. There's way too many fucking games here. Mario Artist. I know about this game. I've seen it. Never played it. Don't really care. Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now I have both versions of the game. I had the one on Wii U when it first came out. This to me, again, probably the better Mario Kart game, right? And I've played pretty much all of the Mario Kart games now, right? From the Super Nintendo to obviously Deluxe. And Deluxe to me, especially when you compare it to the Wii U version, they definitely added a lot. The Wii U version actually does not have the purple drift. You actually had to do a hop drift, which was super annoying, and I never learned how to master it. Okay, it was just insanely hard for me to pull off, and I always sucked at the Wii U version. And I was a kid. This when this game came out, again, showing my age here, I was like 14 when the original Mario Kart 8 came out, right? So that game is almost 10 years old now, which is kind of crazy, but throwing one with easy mode, the cat suit, in the F spot. Oh, you're talking about 3D land. Unless, because like I said, I never really was sucking so much at 3D World, even though it was kind of somewhat challenging, but a decent amount of challenge. Oh no, I saw this comment and I had to highlight it. Oh no, I'm a Sony pony. I'm a Nintendo shill. I never really know. Anyway, I got a question here. Let me ask. Hey, blind bro, would a monitor work for PlayStation 5? Because it isn't correct that you need a 4K TV. No, I use a monitor. I have a 4K monitor. It's a Dell. I mostly like edit and do like Photoshop on it, and so it's a color accurate monitor. But it works for gaming. It's crystal clear, and I get pretty good colors on it. It's HDR, so um, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different options. I prefer a monitor because if I'm playing a first person shooter, I need like a good middle, and with a bigger TV, it kind of just sucks. So a monitor for me is just more ideal for playing certain games, um, especially if it's a first person or third person game. But yeah, you can use a monitor with all consoles. It doesn't really matter all that much. But I do recommend a 4K monitor. Uh, nah, it's not shit. This one is like the premium one. This one is a pretty good monitor. I had to like seek it out and do my research. I might upgrade in the future when they put out like a OLED monitor. Yeah, there's even Sony now is making 1080p 120 hertz monitor. So that actually is pretty good. But also too, you might lose on some quality. Yeah, you don't need a 4K TV to play PlayStation 5. You can play 1080p, 720p. It doesn't really matter, right? But you're just not going to get the full resolution, obviously, right? So it doesn't really matter, right? It's up to you. But no, Dell actually makes some good monitors. There's a couple of companies that I did some extensive research into. So this Dell monitor is pretty good. So I do not agree, Aaron. Um, what else do we have here? But yeah, this will work. Anyway, moving on, getting back to here, Mario Kart 8. As I was saying, this is a S tier game. I think they've improved the game. I wish there was Mario Kart 9. Technically 9. I mean, I guess that's what it'd be called. I don't think uh, there are 9 Mario Kart games. I think there's a little bit more than that. Um, but yeah, this was definitely a substantial improvement on the Wii U version. They gave us a battle mode, which was not in the original Wii U version for whatever reason. Even though uh, I used to play the battle mode a lot in the DS version. I don't really remember too much playing it in the 3DS version, but definitely the DS version. Now this is Mini Mario. I think was on the Wii U. I never played it. I've never played Mario versus Donkey Kong series. Um, I always saw them. Never. They were kind of like mini games to me, so I just never really cared to play it. Um, Luigi's Partner in Time. That's the one again from the series that I didn't really play. Obviously, I did play this because this is the remake of it. Same thing with Paper Jam. At that point, I didn't really care. That was like late into the Wii U, not Wii U, 3DS stage. You gotta get some of these games out of the way. Anyway, so now we have the Lost Worlds, which is fucking an F. I don't give a shit. It's a fucking F. The game's fucking incredibly hard. They're all S tiers. No, I haven't. Listen, you see the list right here. This is embarrassing, Tommy. Like, you guys obviously like to roast me. I'm a youngling. I don't play. I haven't played a lot of games, especially the older games. So it's like, this makes me look incredibly bad. But this is the tier list. Okay, some of these games I haven't played. I'm gonna get to them, to the spinoff games and everything that I did play. What do we got here? You end up with a monitor HD TV that does do. Yeah, yeah. What 56K warning is saying here, right? Yeah, this is what I always do. This is always what I do. That's why I picked my monitor, because my monitor was specifically, does it work for gaming pretty well? It does. Does it work for color accuracy when I'm editing photos? It does. So same thing with when I'm editing videos. So that's why I picked it, because I'm doing multiple things on it. And I have a friend who has a curved monitor, and I could not do a curved monitor, which I don't even think console support curved monitors right now. So obviously some PC games do. Uh, but even then, I still wouldn't want it. Um, I mean, I'm already spending on PS5. I might get PlayStation Plus 2. I found a 1080p. Yeah, that actually would work. You're not going to lose much, right? There's some games where if you play on performance mode, you'll definitely see the higher frame rate, but it'll be 60. Um, there, the thing is, those might be out of your price range, but there are monitors now that do the refresh rate, where now you can play some games on PlayStation 5 at a higher frame rate than 60 FPS. Like I know God of War probably does. I want to say like uh, I don't want to say it's 120. It was like V. Hold on, there is a feature now, and it's only certain games like Spider-Man, God of War, and The Last of Us have this feature. You can look it up. There's just look up Digital Foundry VRR um, on Last of Us or God of War, and you'll see what I'm talking about. What's up, Rabbit Dude? Um, yeah, I haven't played some. Yeah, like I said, Finbar, Mario. By the way, Mario is missing. I have not played Mario is missing, or any of the CDI games. No fucking way. Um, if Mario, hold on. Now I have to look this up. Is this a CDI game? Mario is missing. Um, or was it something else? Someone's gonna have to correct me in the chat if you're looking. No, Mario's missing was a Super Nintendo game. What is the CDI Mario game then? I gotta look this up. Oh, it was Hotel Mario. Okay, Hotel Mario was a CDI game. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember looking up videos. Or when people would do YouTube poops. Yeah, those are good times. What we got? It was Hotel Mario. It was Hotel Mario. Yeah, Super Nintendo. Yeah. I blanked on that one. Excuse me, you guys gotta excuse me on some of these knowledge I don't know, right? So what do we got here again? Did not play. I think what is that? That's on the Virtual Boy. So I definitely never played a Virtual Boy game, right? I don't even know if you can emulate a Virtual Boy game. Why would you? Um this this is the original Mario Bros, right? It's kind of cut off here, but based on the image. So I did play this. I should actually move this up here. It's uh, the thing about this game, I don't care for it. I was gonna put it at a B because it's like, yeah, it's a game I've played, but then I was like, I can't even elaborate on it. So it's just gonna go in the F because I don't have much to say. But I have played it. Mario Golf. Now the Mario Golf series, as I said, they're decent. I like them. Um, the one on 3DS, the one on the Switch, I have not played, which is Super Rush, so I haven't played that one. But I definitely played the one on the 64, and I played the one. This is the 3DS version, if I'm correct. World Tour 3DS version. So it's a good series. I always like the Mario Sports series, but there are ones that I would put in S definitely. The Hoops, never played it. That's the Hoops and the baseball one. I've never played. Never played. We're gonna have to walk through all the games I haven't played. So what do we got here? Some comments here. It was also asked. I've actually not don't know much about Mario is Missing. As you could tell, I thought it was a CDI game. So yeah, weird. Mario Galaxy, I kind of mentioned in the beginning of the stream that as much as I do like Mario Galaxy, and I might as well just look for it here if I can find it. Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2. Mario Galaxy 2 is definitely the better game in my opinion, and I do still like Super Mario Galaxy. But after playing it recently, I played this game in January, right? Um I was saying it seems a little too easy. Like I understand the praise for it, and I like the design, the level designs, and the gravity and the planets. It's very trippy at sometimes, especially when you start to play it at first. Wario Land. Hold on, I'm gonna highlight Tommy's comment here. There's so many comments. I wasn't really expecting this. But yeah, I was it. I do remember vaguely remember this. Um, like obviously I've never played the game, but I've seen Wario Land, right? On the Virtual Boy. There's few games, right? Like Mario Tennis was originally on the Virtual Boy. I do know that. George George is missing. New York is not real. Oh boy. It's great, but the thing is, go back and play the first one. The first one just it feels like it's missing a lot of things. I can't really describe it. It just I I I didn't really think there was a lot of challenge there. Like it's really the time missions and like um finding what was it, the green stars and things like that. There are some cool levels in it, I will admit. But then when I put it down, I just it didn't stick out to me. Yeah, Mario's Missing is dope. I'm gonna have to look into it because that's the one where yeah, I have a blank spot on that one. So yeah. Um yeah, Mario 64. Like I said, I've played all the Mario Kart games, so I can rank this one. This is definitely B tier. It's a solid game. I don't really like the drifting in it. Every single Mario Kart game, I want to say like after the Game Boy Advance or before the Game Boy Advance, so Game Boy Advance included, always feels janky to me. It doesn't really feel very smooth or the drifting. But like Mario Kart 64, like I'd play occasionally. Like if I'm bored, I would pick it up. Before there was a Switch Online, I used to just emulate it and play it a little bit when I would get bored. So this was the one I always preferred to play because the Super Nintendo one, as Finbar would know, I just despise. I absolutely hate it. It's just even I understand back then, right? Because let's be real, I'm more of a 2000s gamer, right? I was born in 2000. A lot of the games I grew up on were from the GameCube, Wii, the Wii U, and now with the Switch. So I always have a different perspective on it. And I've never really talked about that, right? Like I'm always going to have more of a modern sensibility and not so much of a like a classic gamer, which I know, people are obviously going to give me shit for, but it is what it is. I can't play Mario 64. Um, yeah, they do have the fake 3D sprites. It's still, I'm not gonna say it holds up. Some of these games do not hold up if we're gonna be realistic, right? But that's one game where for whatever reason I can still play. But would I prefer it over the newer ones? No, if I'm being honest. 3D Land, it's a good game. I think it is. You'll see my ranking. You'll probably hate me for it. If I'm being honest. You're dope. I'm looking at some of these comments here. Yes, it's a little too easy, but you don't want a game too hard at the same time. And I think Mario Galaxy is the kind of game for casuals. Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. It's just that if you've played Mario Sunshine and then you go right to Galaxy, it's like super jarring because as I've said in the intro that even though um I don't want to say I hate Mario Sunshine, but Mario Sunshine has some of the more challenging levels but also broken levels, so you don't actually know if this was broken or if is it working correctly, right? And it was giving me probably the most hard time, but at the same time it was fun. Like I probably sunk the most amount of time in Super Mario Sunshine, right? Just because it was like I'm trying to remember what I'm gonna pull up this level in particular for Mario Sunshine because it was just giving me such a fucking hard time, and I was like, "Holy fucking hell!" It was not. Hold on. It was like it was. Blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna have to look it up now. I'm gonna have to look it up because I have a clip of it on Twitter where I actually beat this level, and it was probably the hardest level. I'm gonna try to look just hardest level. Um, let's see. There's a video here. I've seen this video. Um, not the mirror. Um, but let me just show this. We'll get to this. Uh, yeah, I like now I understand why people hate it, right? But I'm like leaning where I'm like, do I really hate this? It was the most challenging one. I prefer some of the levels in it. Just because even though again, like visually and aesthetically, they could have done a lot better. But some of the levels, I want to say the special levels where you go in and you can't use flood. Those were the most interesting levels, and yet they were the most fucking I want to point a gun to my head levels. Okay, and excuse me for being absolutely crazy with that comment there. I want to roll up here and see because there's a lot of comments today. There's a lot of people today. Wasn't expecting this. So forgive me. Forgive me. Just kind of looking which one do I want to highlight. A big 3D game for casuals was Breaking New Ground for the time, definitely. If you're referring to Mario 64. Can't play. Yeah, we've seen that one. Yeah, F Zero was definitely better. I agree because I did play F Zero. Um, F Zero just played a lot better. I don't want to say it's smooth. I can't really describe it, but Mario Kart was just so fucking janky, and learning to drift was a bitch, and going around the fucking corners. There's a lot of that game to me just it just doesn't work. And then on top of that too, like the rubber banding in that game is probably the worst in any sort of Mario Kart game because if you're in first place, you're probably gonna fucking lose first place. Like the game is just difficult, and you could say, "Oh, maybe it's my skill level, whatever." But still, it's just a pain in the ass, and I don't feel like it's just cheap. Yeah, I have to disagree. I'm sorry. I just disagree. Um, it's just cheap. That's how I see it. But I do understand when it comes to frustration toward games. I say almost the most outrageous shit. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, we were talking about this last night with Tony. Like Tony was saying, like he would potentially throw his controller. I could not do that. Like I rage, but when I rage, I usually just put down the game and then like come back to it and just keep doing it over and over. Even if it's insanity, I'm like, I'll get it eventually, right? So I try not to rage. Because yeah, I can get pretty fucking pissed off. The no, I don't agree with that. The rubber banding in eight, once you understand the mechanics of it and how it works, you can. I think that's if I have an issue with Mario Kart 8, it's the fact that once you're in first place and you know shortcuts, you know your defense, you can. If you're knocked out of first place, you can easily get back into first place. Meanwhile, the Super Nintendo version, you can't really do that. I did. I was going to talk about it, but I have no clue when I'm going to talk about it because we got all these games, all these fucking games. But Mario Kart 8, I don't know if I'm going to finish this list. I picked this at random. This was my fault. Mario Kart 7 beats here. I played this a lot as a kid. It's not better than 8, though. It's definitely 8 builds on this game, but even though I like some of the levels and introduced the customization, which in this game I feel like doesn't have much of an impact. While in Mario Kart 8 it slightly does. But yeah, Mario Kart 8, I'll put in A because the Switch version is 10 times better. Double Dash, great game. I love this game just as a kid playing it. This is A tier. Just because of the some of the maps here and obviously the mechanic of just having two people ride, even though it really does nothing much. Like one person drives and the other person just throws the item. But it was kind of cool. I wish that idea would come back visually. Mario Kart DS is the one I played the most. So this is definitely like one of my favorite ones. Um, some of the tracks and the characters and also that shy guy feature where if someone who doesn't have the version of the game, they could still play the game with you, but they show up as a shy guy. And I used to, a lot of my friends used to just come over and they're like, I didn't have the game, but we would still play and there would be shy guys. So yeah. Uh this is the live this is this toy. Never played it. This is the one on the Switch. Let's get back to the comments here. Uh Lost Levels got an F tier. Why is that? The Lost Levels because it's ridiculously hard and I couldn't beat it. That's literally it. That's literally my answer. It's I played it, got through a couple levels. It was fucking cheap as fuck, and I just did not want to go through the hassle. You know what's another game that's on the F tier? Uh, the US version of Mario 2 because I fucking hate that game. I beat that game if I could fucking find it here because so many fucking games, and my eyes are just like glossing over. Uh, fuck. Here we are. This game deserve a fucking F. I don't care. I play this game. My criticism of it is the fact that I just I did not like the level designs of like some levels where it's again, this is sort of just being I expect a 2D Mario to be linear. You just go from left to right. Well, some of these levels, yes, they go left to right, but then sometimes you have to like zigzag and go underground and then you're going from right to left. and it's a pain in the ass. And the last boss, that frog, was a pain in the ass. Um, and then sometimes the repeating of bosses like Birdo, like how many times you beat fucking Birdo in the game, and the bunny, or not the bunny, the mouse. I just did not like this game. And then also the doors, and then you can go behind the stage. Again, this is really not Mario 2, right? It's Doku. What's the game called? Someone's gonna say in the chat. What is the original game for Mario 2? Can't remember it. Yeah. Damn. Definitely, I couldn't do that. Got to keep it real. Did not do that. Yeah, it was a pretty good movie. I still have my criticisms of it, but you know what I mean. We'll get into that if I do get into that, because now I'm going over the mark because there's so many of these fucking games. But I'm glad people stopped by. I agree. Mario 2's ass. It's fucking ass. I don't like the fucking game. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I played it. I beat it. Doku. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. This is why I have Tony here, because I can't remember everything, and I'm just bad at pronouncing shit, and I look like a dumbass. But yeah, I just don't like Mario 2. I really don't. I don't care what people say. It's not my favorite at all. Dicky Picnic. No, 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 no. I can't. No. Let's go. So this is the only. Oh, not only actually. I have played the other mobile Mario game. I was gonna put this at S. No, it's a B. They have taken out the microtransactions, but I played it originally with microtransactions. It kind of sucks just how much content and characters are in this mobile game that weren't in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It pisses me off way too much. Uh, Mario Kart VR. This must be an arcade game. Don't know. Oh no, is this? Yeah, this is an arcade game. I was gonna say, like, is this some ride? No, it's not. The way the kid looks here, it looks like, it makes it look like a ride, but no, this is an arcade game. Mario Kart Wii. It definitely this is a A. It's definitely A. What do I not like about the game though, and why it's not S? It's mostly, you don't really, it's the motion controls. I'm trying to like vaguely now remember the game because it's been so long. Um, but if I had to, like, as a kid, even though I had the Wii version, like, I would never really boot it up. I would just play the DS one because it was convenient. It felt smoother. I don't, even though you have the D pad. I don't know, something about it as a kid. I was always attracted to this one, and I put the most amount of hours into the DS version as a kid. So yeah, um, but yeah, yeah. That's. Oh, you beat the Super Nintendo version, right? Um, I haven't actually looked. Is there really a difference? Is it just like a visual difference, or is there like slight game changes? Because I assume it wouldn't be, right? But yeah, was flooded with cheaters. Yeah, just like the DS version. No, I never. I just mostly played with friends and stuff, right? So I never really got the online aspect to it. I think that was just like way too early for me and the DS days. Um, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. We got to keep going here. Dream Team. This is another one that I did play. I completely forgot about this. I did play this game. This one, this one to me was more interesting. Um, just like going into Luigi's dreams and stuff like that, premise wise. But I'll put it here because, like I said, it's not a series I'm fond with, but I always like the premise. But I did play that game. Um, Mario Paint. Didn't play Mario Paint. Okay, now getting to the Mario Party series. Like I said, Tony said before, big fan of Mario, but haven't played a lot of the games. I'm exposing myself here. But Mario Party, even though I have played it, uh, I hate fucking Mario Party. I have to keep it real. I think the newest one was like the one I had the most fun with, but every single one I played, even when I emulated it, I was like, fuck this game, right? So obviously the N64 ones I could not fucking give two fucking shits about, right? They're all F. But then when you start getting into like the GameCube and the Wii, they were fun to play. They were like mini games that you would just play with friends. But then I'd play with friends and then I would just never want to play again. Yeah, Mario Party was just stupid. I'm sorry, man. Like, it's the one series where it's like I never really feel compelled to just play it by myself. Like, I'd rather play it with friends over, even as a kid and, like, now with an adult, right? Like, some of my friends came over when I bought when did that one come out? Is it what's the newest one on the Switch? Superstars? What is it? Now I gotta look and see. Fuck me. If it's here. Superstars. Yeah, this is the one on the Switch. I bought this one, me and my friends played it. We're like, it's fun, but it's like Mario Party's never super intriguing, right? I don't want to put this as B. No, I don't. I don't have a C tier, but I would just put it in B. C the B tier is more C. It's just middle of the road. I've played it. I don't really have much thoughts on it, and if I do, it's like it's whatever, right? Um. So yeah, some of these ones. This 10 was on the Wii. Fuck that game. Did not care. Some of these ones I'll just. I wish I put a C, but let's just put them in B. I don't really have much to say. Like it's Mario Party. That's really it. Why can't I scroll properly? My mouse. Jesus. I'm like going up and down. Now I gotta like switch back and forth. Yeah, let's play Mario Fart. Yeah. I used to make porn in Mario Paint. That's crazy. That's crazy. Uh Mario and Luigi series always put a smile on my face. Yeah, it's eh, I kind of it's kind of sad that the studio closed. Like there's no version of Mario and Luigi on the Switch, which is weird. Because I do want to revisit some of these games, right? Because a lot of the times it's just like I said, I grew up from the GameCube onward, and so it's like some of them I did go back and emulate if they were well known, right? That's why you see so many, as I keep saying, so many of these games I not really play because it's like, yeah, they're Mario games, but it's like they're not the ones that I really want to play, right? Um, Also, it's just so crazy because it's like when I look at Zelda, it's like I've played pretty much all the Zelda games, right? And it's like when I look at Mario, it's like fucking hell, there's way too many fucking Mario games. All right, see you, Vortex. Thanks for stopping by though. Yeah, your cousin's forcing me to. No, it's okay, man. Um, yeah, my brain puts all the Yoshi, Luigi, and Wario titles in here. What do you mean by that? By did not play or like just don't care for? Because yeah, the Yoshi games, Wario Land and Where and Wario Land, I feel like is like could be a lot better, but I just don't care. I played the one on the Game Boy and the what was the one on the Wii called? Was it WarioWare on the Wii or was it something else? Oh no, Land. I said Land, not Where. Jesus, I'm talking about Land. Uh, Land or was it? It was Wario World. Wario World was on the game. It was on the GameCube, right? What was the one that was on the Wii? Is it the one? What am I thinking of? Where it's like it is. It looks like Wario Land. Yeah, okay, Wario Land Shake It. That's what it was. Yeah, that game kind of mid. I was trying to look for it on Google, but yeah. Yeah, yeah, sorry. I didn't see the chat. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Tommy. Um I like as someone this is also like I know this is a side tangent or whatever, but I do like going back and playing older games as of recently just cuz it's kind of interesting, right, to see my perspective on it. But it's not accessible to me, right? Sometimes it's like I have to emulate the game and find it. And it's like, I don't really want to do that. I prefer it having on a platform where I could just play it. But some of these games, like, I do want to revisit, or if I never played it, I want to play it again and give them like my updated opinions on it. But I just want to go through this list and just like talk about it, right? Just because there's some games I have opinions on, some I don't. I keep saying that. I don't know how I'm gonna finish this, but like we'll just we'll just go. I'll put it. This is the GameCube games. This one was on the Wii. Pretty sure this one 9 was on the Wii. Or I think it was 8 and 9 were on the Wii, right? Regardless, whatever. Um, Advanced. Never played this one. The DS ones, they fucking sucked. Three and the 3DS one. I don't give a shit about those ones. Was this on 3DS? The top 10, top 100, I should say. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, Definitely looks like a 3DS game. Unless I'm like totally blinking out or it's something else. Yeah, it was a 3DS game. Yeah. Don't really remember this one, but yeah. Okay. Uh nope. This is the tennis. This is there was they ported this game on the Wii, the Power Tennis one, whereas a GameCube game, and then they ported it to the Wii. They did a bunch of those ones, like Pikmin 2 and obviously Zelda, Twilight Princess. But Twilight Princess was like a native port. This one was just sort of like updated um later on in the Wii's his like lifespan. They did someone remembers when they did that. They took GameCube games and they try to make them like Wii games and then pass them off. Dude, there's so many fucking spin-offs and all this weird shit, right? I want you to stream. Yeah, I mean that would be cool. I don't know how I would do that, but I definitely want to, right? Just like so I can give my opinions on it. Uh, hmm. I'm just scrolling through. I didn't realize so many people just fucking commented just now. Look at my comments. It's very important to know about Mario and the last. Huh. Did I miss your comment? Oh, I did. It's forgiving because it doesn't bring you back to the first level of the stage. You're in the exact stage you were in from. Huh. Interesting. I don't. Maybe I might go back and try it. Sorry, I missed your comment. I didn't realize. I'm like bouncing between tabs and also trying to talk. Which is weird. You know what I mean? Still is, but yeah, it is. It always will be. I mean, like I said, the series is like, even though most of us had started off at different periods, right? Like Tommy and Finbar and Tony, like obviously they're like two damn decades ahead of me, uh, who played some of these original games when they first came out, right? While I started much later, right? Because I'm younger. And it's like there's still some appeal to it, right? So it's like that's why in the beginning, if you saw, I was like, is Mario a kid's game? I don't really know. Like they say it's for everyone, and then yet there are things like the movie and stuff like that. And I want to get to the fucking movie. It's just this fucking list. I haven't played any of these Switch games, the Ubisoft sort of like RTS games. I wanted to. There was like a free trial for this game, and I played it a little bit, but I didn't get too deep. It is my type of game. I do like RTS games, or tactical games, whatever you want to call it. Um, and so I'm kind of just waiting for a sale because there's some Switch games like I pretty much have played most of the Switch games that have come out, right? Um, which is, you know, pretty. I haven't done that before with any console because now, like I'm an adult. I can fucking buy these games. I have the money to, right? So it's kind of cool, right? As a kid, I would have to like pick and choose, right? Or like, oh, borrow this from a friend or like rent it from somewhere. It's like now that's all like gone away. Like I remember when there was Blockbuster, like I was around when Blockbuster was like basically dying, but it still exists. At least here in Canada, it was weird. But yeah, Mario game gallery did not play it. Here's another one that I fucking absolutely hate. Uh, did not play this one. Sports Mix. This one was on the Wii. Did not play it. This was on the 3DS. Did not play it. Um, did not play this game. This looks like a Japanese game. I can't see the title of it. I assume it's these two games are related. Someone correct me. Never played it. Obviously, Virtual Boy. I know of it. It looks like shit. It looks like absolute shit. Seeing this game. Mario's Machine. Is that a thing? I'm learning about this now. This looks like another like Mario's missing. Actually now that I think about it? Oh, Mario's Time Machine. Now that I think about it, these were the educational games, right? Someone's gonna have to correct me. Was Mario missing also a educational game? Because that's also why I don't know much about it. Did not watch any videos on it as a kid. Did not really interest me all that much. But yeah, I'm gonna check out Rabbits. Yeah, I'm gonna have to because, like I said, there's so many Switch games that I've already beaten and played. So I'm like, this is this that, especially from Mario, like I said, right? So the only Mario games that I didn't play on the Switch were those two games, the Rabbits games, and then obviously if you count Yoshi. That's really it. And then obviously, was there actually one that I'm missing? No, I think that might be it. Yeah, so I didn't play this one. Mario Strikers. I when this game came out, I was so fucking miffed. I was pissed the fuck off. This game, they've changed so much of what Mario Striker was when it originally the original two. Just the perspective and how it plays. Like the original ones play more like an arcadey soccer game, and this one, it still plays like a soccer game, but I just hate the fucking the perspective of it. It's very generic. Um, and it just has like this weird learning curve to it. I'm not sure if anybody's played Battle League because it's not even a year old game. But when I bought it day one and I played it, and I was just like something about the game just wasn't clicking for me. Um, I played it even with a couple of friends. They bought it and they were like, one friend, he was fucking pissed off because I was like, "Yo, man, Mario Strikers was my fucking childhood. I love that fucking game. Please buy this game. We'll play together." And I played him once, and that was it. And he's still like fucking pissed. He's like, "Why do you make me spend this game if you fucking hated it?" I'm like, bruh, I thought it was gonna be good. Which is why I put this at S because I love this game. I remember just playing it all the time on the GameCube. Like I said, never played the baseball ones, so I can't say much. Typing, never played the typing. I think that's it. I don't think I could fit more of these in here, so I'm gonna have to. Oh, I can. Okay, I'll put this as B because, like I said, the tennis games up until a point. This one was. This is Aces, so this is the one on the Switch. I never played this one yet. I'm trying to get to the one. No, this is the one on 3DS. I love this fucking game. This is gonna go to an A. Just addicted to playing that game. Like car rides. It was this because I was like 12. When we go on trips, I just play this and Kid Icarus. I love fucking Kid Icarus, by the way. The Uprising on the 3DS was a pretty good game. Anyway, getting back to some of these comments here. What are people saying? Uh, but it was kind of con the kids into thinking it was a legit Mario game. That's funny. That's really funny. Rabbits Yoshi, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I played the one I didn't even get to that game because this is a game. I don't know if this is a hot take. Hold on. Where is this game? Am I here? It is. I absolutely love Yoshi's Island. I played it last year. I beat it. I just sunk so much time into that game. Um, and I was like, damn, I wish we got more of them. And then I was like, oh yeah, there's the one on the 3DS, but I skipped that one. It looked pretty much like identical. Where is the 3DS new? Is it even here? It has to be here. I'm just fucking can't see it. No, fuck, it's not here. That's so weird. Why didn't they put that in there? If some unless I'm like not seeing it, because it's like a yellow, it's like a baby yellow color. That's so weird. It's New Yoshi's Island. Yeah, it was on the 3DS. What the hell? It looked identical. I know it didn't get like good reviews, but I remember seeing it and I was like, oh yeah, Yoshi's Island. And at that point, I didn't play the original, so yeah, I actually love this game a lot. Now that I've played it, like this is more modern thoughts on it. Just like the level design, it doesn't it feels like traditional Mario, but it really isn't because it's almost like going through a maze, some levels, right? Um, and I like the mechanic, like if you get hit, they'll swoop in and take baby Mario. So it's not even so much of you dying, but more so like escorting him to the ending of the level, right? And some of the boss fights too, they're pretty creative. I like that. Yeah, I still think it's pretty good. It's not a proper sequel, I agree, right? It's not a proper sequel, but I still love the game. Like just it was something sometimes I can't this is the one thing I want to work on is like describing why I like a game. Because sometimes it's not really so much of the mechanics, but just like I get hooked on it and I just can't stop playing it. And there's other games where it's like I play it, but I'm not addicted to it. So like it's kind of weird. It's kind of like what's happening with Cyberpunk right now. Where it's like something clicked and I can't put down the game, right? Like if I have to play a game, I'm gonna play that game. So yeah, it's a good game. I like it. But yeah. No. No. I know I don't know. Um, I, I don't know. It was just fun to play. Like I know, like I heard some people had like severe issues. It's probably because of the D pad, right? I'm trying to remember. It was definitely the not the D pad, the circle pad, because it's not like a normal analog stick. It's like forget what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about on the 3DS, right? Um, it was a pain in the ass, but I still like to play it. Like I kind of wish they would bring it back because it probably play much better on Switch. Um, but yeah, I like the game. It was a fun game. Going through here, trying to pick some of these comments here. Oh, nah. It's fun. It's fun. Like I said, it's mostly the boss fights. Like there's one boss fight that you can actually just skip entirely if you know how to. I think you have to you just throw a egg at the little piranha before he grows big. And there's actually some dialogue where it's like, "Hey, why did you beat him before I actually started the boss fight?" And it's kind of funny. But there's like small things like that. That's why I like the game. It's just like the attention to detail and some of the levels is pretty good. Um, at least the numbering isn't as fucked up as the Mario Advance games. Yeah. I can't even like comment on it because it is fucking confusing. Um, but yeah, the circle pad. Yeah, and then you use the stylus. Yeah, I don't know. I just remember playing that game a lot as a kid, like on the car rides and just it was definitely shit, right? And I remember like some people saying that it's better if you bought there was an attachment for the 3DS, if I'm remembering, because I had the OG 3DS and then eventually I got a 2DS. But I had the black 3DS, and I remember there was an attachment where you can get the dual circle pad. But like the circle pad was still kind of shit. Like you really needed an analog stick for that game. And that's why I say just remake the fucking game and put it on Switch and see how it performs, right? Donkey Kong Country. I want to talk about Donkey Kong Country, but it's not really part of the series. So of Mario games, it's a spin-off Mario game, but it really isn't. You know what I mean? Because I do have a lot to say about those games, more so than obviously some of these games, right? Because I do love Donkey Kong Country um, a lot. So again, I know I'm dropping like flies here. People just leaving in and out because I'm not even done. I haven't gotten to the damn movie, but we'll just have to like go through here. Put in B. I did play this, emulated it, pretty fun. This one I haven't played. I heard it's absolute garbage though. The one on the Wii U. Did not play the DSi games. Like I said, these games did not play the Mario and Donkey Kong. I don't know what this game is. The image here is throwing me off. But yeah, I'm gonna have to scooch on by and just drop some of these games. I have not played them. Does this count as a Mario game? Or we keep it real just because he's in the fucking game? I didn't play this one. I've seen it, I've looked at it, just didn't really care. This one I fucking can I say I okay, I didn't play the Switch version, I played the Wii U version. I still have the Wii U version, but this is one of my least favorite 2D mainline Mario games because it just I played the one on the Wii and I was expecting something a little bit different. There's really no fucking difference at all with this game besides like what a fucking couple of features and the gamepad where you can play with a fifth players. Yeah, and then they can like add on the fucking platforms. Not fun, not fucking fun at all. Um, will I revisit it? Maybe. Because like I said, this is actually now that I think about it, this is the one I didn't play because I had bad memories of the one on the Wii U. So if it ever drops like a crazy amount, I'll probably buy it. This game, played it. It's okay. I know people hate it. It's one of those things where it's like the new Super Mario Bros. Like after the one on the DS and then the one on the Wii, they just became generic, right? And I know these are the only other two, and then the deluxe, but they were just generic. Like they were okay games, right? Um, actually, do I want to put this at F because I don't have a C? I'll put it on F. because the original ones on the DS and the Wii, they were fun. Like I said, right? Like I don't have an issue with it. What happened to the one on the Wii? I'm getting like blindsided now. Where's the one on the Wii? Oh, okay, here we are. Yeah, because they're more B games. They're. It's like at the time there was no 2D Mario in a while, so it was like, oh, you play this and it was fun, and I didn't think much of it. Yeah, didn't play this. Getting into the Paper Mario series. Now I've played the one on the 64, and I like this one. I think it's the A tier. It's obviously definitely a replacement for Mario RPG, which I've never played Mario RPG because I could not find an emulation for it, which kind of sucks because I really wanted to play that game. But the Paper Mario series has definitely been on a decline as of recently, which is kind of unfortunate because they're not so much RPGs anymore. They're more like RPGs. It's like a turn-based RPG. If you remove all of the aspects that make a turn-based RPG, like it's weird to describe. I'll put this in A2. This is the GameCube one. Um, it kind of just bugs me. Yeah, it really does bug me. I'm going on way too long. It's 7:30. Fuck me. Just gonna have to keep fucking going here. Oh my god. But yeah, like when you start getting to like Color Splash and Sticker Star, this is where the people always criticize these games. I actually like this one. This is the one on 3DS. I've played it a lot. Again, this is probably nostalgia talking. I'll probably put it at a B, you know. It is interesting that they did move away from the turn-based aspect of it and just turned it into like throwing items at enemies and stuff like that. And I haven't played the one on the Switch yet, but I don't really have an issue with these games. I think they're okay. I think people just rag on them a little bit too much. And it's not like um, it's like a new director. It's the original director from the N64, if I'm pretty sure at least. Um, and he just wanted to innovate on the games. Like he didn't want it to just be stale, right? So I don't have an issue with it. Got to get some of these games out of the way. It's just crazy how many games there are. But with this series, 3D Land, as I was telling Vortex before, I like the game. Not as good as 3D World, obviously. This one, Super Circuit, a lot better. Uh, Definitely not a A tier at all, but still like great in general. And it's now on the Switch, so I'll probably play it a lot more now. And I played it when I think back in February when it first dropped. It's okay. Like I said, not terrible, but not great. The 3D, I played this recently. Uh, it's a B. I did buy it. I had to put it in my collection because even though I don't collect, I still wanted to have it. I still wanted to play these games on the Switch and not emulate it. And like I said, you know, I have mixed feelings on two of these games, but I love Mario 64. So yeah, the Wii U version, because I didn't like it, I'll put it at B, which it doesn't now like matter. It's a S, B, doesn't really matter. We're trying to get through this quick. Obviously, as I said before, this is going in as my favorite Mario game. And same thing here. This is where I first started was the DS one, which I know people say is a pain in the ass because of the D pad, but I never really remembered it being a problem. I just like the fact that you had all the characters here, while in the 64 there isn't. There's obviously slight changes, but this is the version that I played originally and then emulated this, right? So there we are. Never played this one. I guess I could play it now. But does it really matter? Because I've already played Super Mario 3, like the original, and beat it. Um, yeah, I'm surprised you're still here, George. Like, gotta keep it real. This is going on way too long. Despite of all these games, I never get sick of Mario. Yeah, it's Mario. What can you really say, right? Like, it's a great series. Um, yes, it has all these crazy spin-off games I've never played, and some I don't really care to play. But there are other ones that, like I said, now we're starting getting into the tier of ones that I do have more thoughts on, right? Like I said, I didn't need to play this because I played most of them. And I didn't play this when this came out. Okay, now I can get into this game. because I absolutely love this fucking game. This has to be the Super Mario Bros. 3. I beat this game. Some people were like, "Oh, it's actually kind of hard," but I went back and played it. I didn't have any problem with it. He's definitely, I would say that Mario is very slippery in this game. Where sometimes you have to be very precise. You don't want to like run too much because you might fucking slip off the fucking edge. Um, and that's really my only issue with it. But like when I think of a Mario game now, I don't even really think about Super Mario World, right? Because I again I went back and played it, but like this is the one I prefer the most, which is weird. Um, but yeah, I love this game. Going back and playing it recently, when I think of 2D Mario, I think of this. If I'm going to be honest, the original, it's a A. It's fairly easy. I beat it, no issue at all. Um, some jumps were kind of a pain in the ass, but no, some of these games like going back, like yes, I could see the difficulty of it, but like I don't really have an issue. Well, some other ones like the Lost Level, like I'm surprised, Rabbit Dude, going back to him, he beat it, the Lost Level, and I was just like, yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, it's a still a good game. Like it's actually insane how much it holds up, right? Where it's like this can easily be you can put better visuals on it and keep everything and it would still be like a really decent game, right? Like you don't really need to change up much. Um like so this is the one where it's like if you've never played a classic old or like basically I want to say like pre uh 64, like this is the game I would say like you should play, right? Cuz it's the best. It's easily the best. Yeah. Yeah, pretty good guy. Um yeah. It's yeah, this is the one it was on Game Boy Advance. But I love this game. I absolutely love it. The Tanuki and everything. It's a great game. Yeah. I agree. This is the one we all like can agree on. Like I hope, right? Is so good. Like it carried an entire movie before it was released. That's insane. Yeah, that's insane. Fuck. Um Mario Galaxy 2 definitely better than the original. I would say it's an A, but it's bad. I just like the Yoshi mechanic. That's really it. That's all I got to really say. It's pretty much Mario Galaxy, slightly better because, like I said, I have issues with this game. Um, I, I kind of, if I have to be honest, right, I wouldn't mind a Super Mario Galaxy 3. I think they should make it, fine tune it, like basically Mario Galaxy meets Mario Odyssey. Um, would be pretty interesting. Like I said, I've talked about this game. I hate this game. I play this game. It's relatively easy. Even this game's just a fucking pain in the ass because of how tiny everything is. So I absolutely hate this one, the first one, Super Mario Land. This one I would put in B. It's a solid game, like going to the different worlds and maps. But I beat this game in what, like 2 hours? It didn't take very long to beat, um, which is fine. But it's like it is a Game Boy game, and at the time, like it's definitely an improvement from the first one, but I don't know. It just doesn't really stick out to me all that much. So it's B, it's solid, but could care less. This one, I should say, I never played the Wii U one, but I played the Switch one, the second game. Really fun game. I love going. I you know the fact that they added the campaign mode from the original because the original doesn't have it as far as I'm aware, and the different levels. Uh, Very interesting, very creative. I want to see a third one and see what they could do. Um, I doubt you could make a Super Mario Maker 3D area, but I still would want them to do it. So I'm going to put this at an A because it was a solid game. Um, every once in a while, I'd go back and test some levels and stuff. So yeah, let's see the comments here. The fact that yeah, the fact that it's on the original Nintendo is mind blowing, right? Because it doesn't play like one, and it doesn't even look, even though it does, you know what I mean, right? Like it's just far ahead of its time. Um, it is mind boggling, yeah. It holds up really well. Have you ever beat the first game twice since the second Goomba and the no, I haven't played the first game twice. Um but yeah, I did hear something about that. But no, I've never played the first game twice. I just beat it once and like I said, I think I did like I don't know how long did it take me. Maybe it was like 4 hours. Um maybe a little bit longer. I must be like I played it back in October. It didn't take me long to beat the first one, but it did take me a while to go through the third game for whatever reason. But yeah, I didn't really have any issues, and I wasn't doing the replay, by the way. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Mario Odyssey, as I've said before, this is the one where I definitely think that this is the improvement on the series, like the improvement version of Mario 64. Because I said I sunk so many hours into this game now, and I used to hate on it just because I ran through it once and didn't really think much of it until when I went back and replayed it and just collecting some of the moons and stuff. I saw more the complexity of the game a little bit more, and that's why I prefer this over Mario Galaxy. Like, if anything, I think this game should be considered the best Mario game, not Mario Galaxy, which I know is maybe a hot take, but that's the whole point of the show. So I never played this one. I heard it's shit. And I haven't played this one. This is the one I'm always like pissed off at because I always try to seek this out and look for an emulation. And I know there's obviously rights issues with this, like Square Enix, and it's just kind of weird that this game is just there in the library and so many people talk about it, yet nothing is done. Like there's never a remake or a remaster. Like this game is just gonna exist and that's it. It kind of sucks. But yeah, if you beat the third one, you get a hand job. Crazy. Crazy. I've played this game. It's shit. It's shit. I don't like it, the whole like um it's basically like an endless runner. So you can't really control where he lands and stuff. It just the mobile Nintendo games just they never really were great, and that's why they kind of just stopped. This one was the one on the Wii. Like I said, it was pretty good. I liked. I was gonna put it in B, but no. These two games equal each other. Mario Sunshine. This is the controversial one because I think it's just gonna go in a B. Because like I said, this game love aspects, hate aspects. It's a broken game. People have already acknowledged their issues with it. We're almost done here. We're almost done here. Put this at A. We already talked about this. This is the one on the Wii. Put it here too. We're just gonna get through the end of this. Didn't play this game. Interesting though. Mario. This one I'm a little bit confused by. Now I have to look this up because I'm like, what? Where was that one? It looks. Hold on. Oh, this is the GameCube one. Right. Weird. I definitely never played it then. Because for whatever reason, I was looking at this and I'm like, something is familiar, but I'm like, no, never played this one. But I do like the series though. Wrecking Crew did not play this. I didn't play this one, and I definitely didn't play the rest of these. So that's gonna end it. Like I said, the ones above here are the ones that I have played a significant amount and have my opinions on. I'm like scrolling all over the place, as you can see. So yeah, it's still a great series, even though like look at all these fucking games that I didn't play, and it is what it is. I played most of the mainline ones. That's the ones that count. Those are the ones I wanted to talk about. But yeah, so yeah, peace, Mario forever. Um, it's a long stream. I got to talk about what I really wanted to talk about, even though I had the Mario movie up. So 5 minutes on this, I guess. It's going so fucking long. Holy shit. Um yeah, I guess this is gonna be the five people left if there are five people watching. You are going to get what I think about this movie because I think the movie was just it was okay. I would say it's a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6. If I'm being if well, 7 is being generous. Yeah. This late, right? Like, um, no, but like this movie to me, I think could have been a lot better. Um, it was fun. Like, there's a lot of Easter eggs in it. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. Spoilers. Like, it's Mario. It's literally Mario saving Luigi, and Princess Peach and him team up to take down Bowser. And it's kind of like they take some elements of Mario Odyssey where Bowser wants to marry Peach. Listen, it's a kids movie. It's fairly simple. There's not a lot going on here, and that's kind of my issue. I think there could have been some clever aspects to the movie, right? Because like I said, the plot is very simple, it's very thin. The animation is beautiful. It's actually better than a Pixar movie, which is crazy to say. Um, but yeah, it's for kids, man. It's easily for kids. It's not even like what I wish it was. It was more like a Pixar movie, right? Because I feel like that would have been more representative of Mario. Because I think Nintendo is more Pixar than it is Illumination, right? Where it's like, yes, it is for kids. I think we could just flat out say like Nintendo was really for kids. And a lot of the characters that do appeal more so to kids, even though there are series that don't, right? Like, I don't think kids are really like chomping at the bits to play Zelda, if I'm being honest, right? Like, Zelda has kind of like more teens, but Mario is just it's for kids. Like, yeah, it failed to be a kids movie and made for adults who didn't even play the games. Yeah. And I didn't mention this, I think it was on Aaron's stream, where it's like at the time, that movie, and I did see that movie as a kid, by the way. Like, I looked it up, I was curious and watched it. I vaguely remember it. It was definitely bad. I want to revisit it. Maybe on the show I'll talk about it, but it just didn't work at the time, right? Like, Mario was definitely for kids back during the mid 80s and early 90s, right? But over time now, like, there's so many generations, right? Like I was saying, there's a lot of people in the chat here who grew up were those kids, right? While I'm a kid who came later on, right? Almost basically like 30 years, 20 years after when Mario first came out. And I got a whole different generation of games, right? So now it's like there's people from like 10 all the way to like 40 something, like in their mid 40s, who have played Mario. So that's why it makes sense the movie's so big. But at the same time, why would you make a movie that is so surface level, right? And that's what I mean. Like, I wish it was more of a Pixar movie. Like, when you watch a Pixar movie, like, think about Wall-E or Monsters Inc. There's actually some emotional depth and like maturity to it where it's like actually clever. It's not just a kids movie, right? There's actually something for adults because adults are gonna bring their fucking kids to the movie, right? So it's like you might as well make a movie that works on different levels, right? And the Super Mario Brothers movie doesn't, which is weird because the games do, right? A kid can easily play Mario Odyssey and an adult can easily play Mario Odyssey and get the same enjoyment level, right? Especially if you're a fan of the genre. So why in the fucking world would you make a fucking Mario movie that is the most simplistic bullshit I've ever seen, right? And I'm gonna criticize the movie, right? There's fucking they play like what old cliche 80s songs, right? Like I Need a Hero. Like, how many times has that song appeared in a movie? It just should be written out of history. Stop doing shit like that, right? Playing these songs that we've heard hundreds and hundreds of times in movies. Stop doing that shit. Okay, and then there's even just cringy jokes. Just hold on. I need a break. I need a break. For the 4 people watching that, hold on. Thank you for sticking out this long. But we're almost done here. So this is how I would fix this movie, right? Is that I think it should have been a little bit more clever, right? It should have been Mario. Same scenario, right? He's from Brooklyn, but Mario is actually a gamer, right? And this is where I would have changed it, right? It should have been a meta commentary on why people like Mario. What is the appeal of Mario, right? And it should have been about, again, just like the hero's journey, but from a gamer perspective, right? When you play Mario as a kid, right? it's still going to be hard, right? Because you're a kid, right? Trying to make those jumps, trying to get to the end. It should have been, in my opinion, almost like a movie that was like a speed run where Mario has to basically either save Luigi and he has to do it within a certain time frame and he has to get through all these levels. And every time he does it, he fails, right? And it really should have been about like why Mario as a series picked up, right? And that's really the only change that I would really make from the movie is actually add some nuance and subtext to what's going on, right? Which I know most people don't really care, but like when you're watching a movie as an adult, you kind of want a little bit more, right? I need something to chew on, right? I don't just want to have the taste in my mouth. I need something a little bit more. But yeah, I definitely want a Donkey Kong movie. And I even had an idea on Twitter where I'm like, a Donkey Kong Luigi's Mansion movie, those would be fire. Which, by the way, I didn't even talk about Luigi's Mansion in the tier list. Uh, but yeah, I guess they count as spin-off games, which is weird, but it's a Mario stream. Well, maybe eventually I'll talk about Luigi's Mansion, because I do love the third game. Yeah, it should have been like Ready Player One. I think Ready Player One was like the mold that they should have used, right? Like someone who was Mario is a gamer. I know that sounds weird, but like you see in the movie he's playing Kid Icarus, right? The original Kid Icarus game. So it's like, why didn't you incorporate some aspects where he is a gamer and it's like, he's trying to like break out of his shell and he really doesn't know how to, right? Something that actually appeals to the people who played games over decades and decades, right? Like now it's a popular thing, but before it was seen as a kid's toy, it was seen as like a nerdy thing. And so I think it would have been clever if the movie goes, hey, gaming now is acceptable. Everybody's going to go see this movie because they grew up on Mario. And it's like, well, why, right? What is the appeal of Mario? It's not just it's not the story. Who's playing Mario for the story? Nobody. Let's keep it real. No one's playing for the story. Everybody's playing for the platforming, the challenge. It's a game, right? That's why we play games. It's because it's a competition, right? There's just that part of our brain. It's just like, oh, we want to win, right? That's a very surface level for games, right? Because now games they can be just interactive movies, right? There's so many aspects. I don't want to get too much deep into that, but having this movie also to play on, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Mario has a story, fucking lunacy, yeah. Like Mario does not have no damn story, right? It has a simple premise: go save the princess. That's how you start off the game, right? And most of it is just the obstacles, right? And yes, it does incorporate Mario Kart and all these different things, but it doesn't actually give you the appeal of why are you playing this game, right? Because I haven't seen, to scroll all the way back up when Aaron and George and all of them were here. We're talking about Grace Randolph. I don't want to mention her name, but she had a really bad take. But it's not really a bad take because she's never played Mario. So it's a take that makes sense. If you've never played Mario, you just see mushrooms and you see Mushroom Kingdom and you see the Koopa and Bowser. You're all like, what the fuck is all this shit, right? It's like, yeah, it's Mario. There's no lore to fucking Mario, right? There's no like deep storytelling, like it's some RPG. It's not, right? It's just here's the world, here's all the nonsense. Go and jump. That's literally what it is. It's about jumping. It's about beating a level. That's the kind of aspect of storytelling that should have been in the game. The appeal of why you play Mario. And it's like a meta. It's meta. It's like interesting. It gets to the uh I don't know. It's I don't want to say it's intellectual. It's really not, right? We're talking about fucking Mario here. But it's like ask yourself, why do you play games? Right? And it's like you'll find some type of story of the draw and the appeal of playing a game. Now, other aspects of the movie I would probably fix, like they have a sequence where it's like, oh, that's the eel from Mario 64. And it just they don't fucking play any any fucking music from either Donkey Kong Country. Everybody knows I can't play it here because I don't want to. Uh, well, Nintendo doesn't really strike people for their music, which is weird, but I ain't gonna risk it. Okay, but everybody knows the fucking Donkey Kong Country aquatic theme. Okay, it should be one of the most iconic piece of video game music, right? If you haven't heard it, just Google it. Search up Donkey Kong aquatic theme. It is so damn good. Crazy that that was in a video game. Okay, so yeah, that I can't believe they did not fucking play any sort of aquatic theme music during that sequence. It actually fucking pissed me off. Pissed me off. Oh yeah, I loved the little Diddy Kong moment, because I love Diddy Kong, and it was really funny where he just basically was a shill. That's what he was. He was like a hype man for Donkey Kong. So it was like this dude just, I'm sorry, he's a dick rider. That's what Diddy Kong is. So that was funny, but yeah. Um so like I said, I don't mind that it's the plot is simple, but there needed to be story. That was the criticism, right? It's not, we get it, right? The plot of Mario very simple, but we need something underneath that. And that's why also I like Pixar movies, right? Why I like Toy Story, because even though it's made for kids, and no, that's not slander. You know that's true, right? He's a dick rider. Let's keep it real. He's a dick rider. Okay. But anyway, the point is, you know, you needed something else to the story. And I know this is more like film theory, right? This is not so much like, oh, I would change this plot point or I'd add this character. This is all just like structure, right? Which is something I'm big on, right? It's just like story structure and like thematic aspects of movies, which I know most of us don't care for, right? That's all like in more screenwriting aspects, right? But I like screenwriting. I've written screenplays, so I always think about stuff like that. And even though, like I said, I had fun. Like, yeah, he wore the Tanuki suit. The underwater scene didn't have the frog suit. Yeah, which was weird. You know what was also weird too? There was no fucking wing cap. None. There was no wing cap, which was weird. There was really. It's so weird because it's like there's so many Easter eggs, but there's not really a lot of clever Easter eggs, right? Where you're like, oh, he could have used this in this scenario, right? Um, and I kind of wish they had like a joke. This is another thing too, where it's like he jumps on the block, and every time he gets like a random suit from the game, and he's like, "What the hell is this? A frog suit? A bumblebee suit? A goddamn like propeller suit?" Like, there was nothing like that. It was just sort of like, "Oh, here's the fire power up, right? Here's the Tanuki suit once. Here's the cat suit." And it's like they're just things that appear in the movie, and it's like, shouldn't you elaborate on like how fun it was when you got the original Tanuki suit and how it worked, or how like the cat suit worked and all these different weird power-ups? There's nothing like that in the game. Or sorry, in the movie. Um and you could tell like the people who wrote the movie, to me, felt like they had a shallow understanding of Mario. It was like, "Oh yeah, there's Mario Kart. There's this Mario game." It's like, eh, could you like elaborate, do something more? Uh, put some more, like, this is where the Easter egg should have informed the storytelling, and like, I don't know if that's hard to explain. Maybe we would have to sit down, maybe even make a video about this where I have more a concise argument. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here because it's been way too long. It's almost 8 o'clock. I didn't want to go to 8 o'clock, so but yeah, I'm gonna end it here. So thanks to everybody who stuck around. I did have quite a few people. Tommy, uh, you know, 56K, um, Finbar, Tony obviously popped in, Aaron, all you guys. Everybody knows me. I appreciate it because, like I said, I only do this for my own. You know, I just want to talk. That's really it. I talk way too much, and I don't get to talk about this stuff in my personal life. So, yeah. So I'm gonna keep doing it. Next week, I'm gonna be talking about the Evil Dead series. I love Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead 2 like a lot, and I'll get into it of just some of the things that I've made because of Evil Dead 2. Um, but that's a series I want to talk about, and the newest movie I think is coming out next week. I'm gonna have to Google it and see. Evil Dead Rise. Uh, Please tell me it's next week. It is next week, the 21st. So I'm definitely gonna be talking about that. Spoilers. If you aren't gonna watch it next weekend, I'm gonna be talking about that. I'm gonna be talking a little bit about um, Ash versus the Evil Dead, which I'm catching up on again because I watched the first season. I never watched the second and third season, and I loved the show. The first episode was fucking amazing. So if you like Evil Dead, come by next weekend. But yeah, real gaming begins on that date. I cannot wait. I'll be talking about that game once I beat it. I'll talk about the other Zelda games. Um, it probably won't be like this stream because this stream was absolute chaos, if I'm being honest. So I'll probably just do a tier list where I talk about the games I have played and sort of rank them. I'm gonna have to find a creative way of doing some of these tier lists, sort of like how I did John Wick. If you've seen the John Wick video, so yeah, I'm excited this year for games. Even though there's not really a lot, it's just from the big three. Starfield. We're gonna have to eventually talk about my love of Fallout. I love Fallout to death. Obviously Spider-Man and Tears of the Kingdom. So yeah, and I'll also be posting more shorts. So look for that. More shorts with my voice in it because I do some, shorts that are kind of like either memes or just like, hey, this thing happened. So yeah, so stay tuned. Like I said, I appreciate everybody who came by. It means a lot. And also to people, if they do watch on the replay somehow, it'll be up there. So you can watch it. So thanks, guys, and peace.